And with that, welcome to the second half of our weekend set of Top Rope spoiler videos. This is Steve with On the Ring Apron. As we stated, anyone that watched our In the House or In Your House preview for Saturday's pay-per-view with NXT, and for anyone who's also watched our previous videos, as you're aware, we are currently out of our normal location due to construction being done to our house. So we don't have our usual area to be able to do our videos. So as a result, we're having to do videos a little different. This one's obviously a lot shorter than the one. And if you guys happen to like us doing it this way, be sure to let us know. And, it's certainly a change up, doesn't require as much of your time. And also, we're sometimes not the greatest to look at. So, hey, if you like the voice but don't like the look, maybe we're, as my father would once say, maybe a face made for radio. But this is for WWE's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view live this Sunday in Chicago. First, a shout out to the song Straight to Hell by Ozzy Osbourne, which was the theme of Hell in a Cell for the last couple of years, and it continues to remain the theme today. We appreciate WWE and the Osbourne family allowing us to be able to use this to open our video. All rights and trademarks, everything, of course, belong to him. But let's head into the pay. Getting an opportunity to see the scoreboard, as you can see, just like we had at In Your House. Currently, the OTRAs with a 1-point lead over all three of us here on the show. But of course, there are 2 premium live events this weekend, so a lot of matches to go over, 13 of them, in fact. So if you haven't watched ours for In Your House, pause this one, go back, watch it, enjoy it, take a look at our picks for NXT, and then come back and check us out for WWE. So, we'll wait here a moment. Okay, you went and watched it? All right, great. So we'll go ahead and move into the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. 7 matches in total, including one added extremely late on SmackDown. We'll get to that one here in a little bit. The first match will be for the United States Championship, as the youngest United States champion in the history of WWE. Theory, and Mr. McMahon's personal protege, will go up against Chicago's own Mustafa Ali for the United States title. Since he returned, Ali has made it a point to want to battle for the United States Championship and has gone through great lengths and many matches, most of them losses, in order to get himself of what he believes is an opportunity to win the United States title from the arrogant Theory. Theory seems to have had Ali's number and has been one step ahead of him at all times. So we'll see if now, with Adam Pearce making it a fair fight, one-on-one, especially with the hometown crowd of Chicago behind Ali, will this bring about an end to Theory's reign, or will Theory find a way to once again get one more win and perhaps a few more selfies? Moving into our selections. All 3 of us are taking Theory to retain in this match, despite the fact that Mustafa is inside of his hometown of Chicago. However, the OTRAs are leaning the other way, as of the time of this recording, the OTRAs were sitting at 85%. Now, taking note that the OTRA vote is based off the community vote on YouTube, and you still have an opportunity to be able to place your vote if you haven't already. So go into our community tab and place your vote in there. And if it swings enough, but officially the OTRA's pick is whoever is ahead at the time that the bell rings for the match. So while I don't think 85% is going to swing enough to likely change this one, it still doesn't hurt to throw your pick in, as right now the Ultras seem to be the only ones leaning towards Ali. Hey, the crowd's a point ahead of us, so maybe they know something we don't. Match 2 is one that's finally going to see, hopefully, this storyline come to an end. This one's been going on since the night after WrestleMania, as Ezekiel will go one-on-one with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, since the day of Ezekiel's return, has essentially been looking at Ezekiel and saying, this is Elias. And because of his persona and his storyline character, that he doesn't like liars, despite the fact that he has been one himself in the past, Kevin Owens is determined by any cost to prove Ezekiel to be just Elias with a different look. Ezekiel, meanwhile, has maintained every step of the way that he is not Elias and that he is, by definition, his younger brother, and as a result has been on the wrong end of a lot of Kevin Owens' attacks. and also at the wrong end of his barbs. Finally, they're going to have a chance to come to blows and finally settle this once and for all at Hell in a Cell when Ezekiel and Owens collide. As for our selections, everyone across the board, including the OTRAs right now, are leaning towards Kevin Owens. While I could see that Ezekiel could get the opportunity to truly have the best chance to win this match at the same time, it's just extremely difficult to picture them having Kevin Owens with everything that he brings to the table losing a match like this. So all of us could easily see Ezekiel finding a way to get the win, maybe with a roll-up, but ultimately we see Kevin Owens winning this match just to go ahead and give him the push he needs heading into the summer. The third match on the Hell in a Cell card was actually just added within the last few minutes as we actually recorded this directly after SmackDown. And it was one added towards the very end of SmackDown, and it will be a no-holds-barred match between two former best friends, now turned bitter rivals, as Madcap Moss returned, and despite the fact that he is coming back early from his neck injury, wants Happy Corbin, and as a result of the heinous attack and the attempted revenge, Adam Pearce now electing that this will happen under no-holds-barred rules. How fitting that the pay-per-view or premium live event of Hell in a Cell would be where this would take place. I really think it would make more sense to have actually put them inside the cell, but a no-holds-barred match is essentially the same, just without the cage locking them in. It'll be curious to see now that all of a sudden there are no rules, there are no structures, there are no ways out of this. How much will the two of these guys prepare to beat the living mess out of each other, and who will ultimately come out on top? As for our selections, and obviously we've made them on just a few minutes of notice and a few minutes worth of time, but all three of us are ultimately going with Madcap Moss to win this match. We feel like he's coming back from the injury and is the one that looks most likely to get booked for a big push heading into the summer. The OTRAs right now do not have their pick officially selected because we just put the post up a few minutes before recording this. So this one, we truly don't know where it stands right now. So the OTRAs will need to take their time to go ahead and make their picks. And let's see who you guys ultimately end up taking. Of course, again, the results are official as of when the bell officially rings for this match. But right now, all three of the hosts going with Madcap Moss to win this match over Happy Corbin. The fourth match is a 2-on-1 handicap match that will take place between the almighty Bobby Lashley taking on the tag team of MVP and the Nigerian giant Omos. This has been one that has been going on since WrestleMania and really has almost carried Monday Night Raw for quite a while if you include any storyline that doesn't involve the Bloodline or Bianca and Becky and Asuka. But essentially, Bobby Lashley and Omos have been trading wins and losses with each other, oftentimes with MVP's either interference or lack of interference truly deciding the difference. MVP ultimately defeating Bobby Lashley in a singles match, albeit by countout, to win the right to be able to choose the stipulation. He ultimately choosing the 2-on-1 handicap match, which in turn could actually favor both their team as well as Lashley, because now at this point, Lashley has a way to be able to win this match without having to necessarily pin or submit Omos. This one is one that this will be the fourth time that actually Omos and Lashley will meet inside a match of any kind, with right now Lashley holding the 2-1 advantage, having won at WrestleMania and also in a steel cage match on Monday Night Raw. Omos holding the revenge win at Backlash. Fourth contest, let's see if they can even the series or if Lashley will put an end to the Nigerian giant once and for all. Our selections. This is actually the first one that we're really kind of split, as Alyssa and I are both going to go with the Omos MVP team. You also could believe that MVP could potentially have something up his sleeve. We also don't know potentially if Cedric Alexander, who of course is doing everything in his power to get back in MVP's good graces, could he potentially do something? However, Kia believes in the Almighty and is going to go with Bobby Lashley to win this match. And in one of the bigger surprises, the OTRAs are going heavy on Bobby Lashley in this match. 88% of our voters are going with Lashley to win this match. So it's kind of split 2-2, and we will see if that is ultimately enough to sway anything. Again, the vote's not official until the bell rings, so you've got time to go place your votes in and see if you can sway it one way or another. Our next one up is probably, in my opinion, the match of the night. I think a lot of people are looking forward to this one, as Team Live Club is what they're calling themselves. The team of AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan will go into a 6-person intergender tag team match against the group known as the Judgment Day, led by Hall of Famer Edge, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley. Edge has had issues with AJ Styles ever since he called him out for WrestleMania. Priest has ultimately been becoming Edge's disciple, has decidedly gone against or sided with Edge to take on Styles, and inevitably ended up in the hairlines of Finn Balor. Meanwhile, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, a team that was on the brink of winning the women's tag team titles, ultimately broke up, and Rhea has decided to use that untapped potential and rage to go up with the Judgment Day, and has been taking it out on Liv Morgan. But over the last few weeks, it's been Liv Club that ultimately has been getting the victories and has been getting the last laugh, but that has been without Edge at ringside. Now, with their leader returning back to the ranks, it is now a situation where the Judgment Day is going to ultimately be able to have the advantage going into this match. Our picks for this one is again split down the middle, and you'll notice that the sides are the same as they were in the last match, as myself and Alyssa are both going with the Judgment Day to be victorious in this match, even going as far as Alyssa stating that she believes that either Styles or Balor is going to turn on their team and ultimately end up joining the Judgment Day, or maybe Edge has another person on the outside that potentially could sway this match in their favor. Meanwhile, Kia believing in Styles, Morgan, and Balor, and the OTRA is also siding pretty heavily 4-1 in favor of Team Live Club as well. So OTRAs and Kia is going to ride or die hard, it looks like, at this pay-per-view, as myself and Alyssa will try to run the gambit here with the Judgment Day. Moving on to the 6th match, what we believe is the co-main event of the night, and it is a match for the Raw Women's Championship. Surprisingly, one of only 2 championship matches on the entire card, and also the only full women's match to be involved. And it will be Bianca Belair, the EST, defending the Raw Women's Championship against both the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, and big-time Becky Lynch. All 3 of these women, either current or former Raw Women's Champions, a long line of pedigree. Likely all of these women are either already at Hall of Fame status or are closing in on it, and it'll be curious to see how things work out. As of course, this storyline, anyone who's aware, has been entangled as part of the huge storyline between Sasha Banks and Naomi's suspension. This, based on who you believe, was intended to originally be a one-on-one match between Naomi and Bianca Belair, but then, the stories are kind of twisted a little bit, and we try not to go into too much into the dirt sheets. But essentially, their choice to leave Monday Night Raw a few weeks ago ultimately resulted in WWE needing to scramble. They ultimately put up the match and have Asuka go over Becky Lynch to earn herself a one-on-one championship match. But Becky Lynch would then defeat Asuka the next week to also put herself into the match as well, turning this into a triple threat. Of course, triple threat eliminating champion's advantage for Bianca Belair, so she now can lose her championship without having to be pinned or submitted. But this is one where all 3 women have had a distinct issue with each other. Bianca and Asuka clearly have a lot of respect for one another, while neither are showing any kind of level of respect and really disdain towards Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, meanwhile, feeling like Bianca has stolen her moment and her spotlight, while at the same time Asuka did not hold up her end when she left due to pregnancy a couple of years ago, and felt that Asuka would be the one that would hold down the division until she returned. and blames Asuka for allowing the Raw Women's division to fall into the hands of Bianca Belair. So all three of these women all have been either current or former champions. Let's see who ultimately wins out and walks out with the top prize in the Raw Women's division. Our selections is a clean sweep across the board, as all three of us, plus 70% vote from the OTRAs, are all going with Bianca Belair to retain the championship in this match. For those of you curious, it was 21% for Asuka and 9% for Becky Lynch. But we only hold who we have the top winner. Now, of course, with it being under triple threat and three people to choose from, the poll, of course, allows you to choose any of the three. So there is multiple opportunities to be able to potentially sway this vote for the OTRAs between now and the actual start of the match on Sunday. But all of us don't believe that there's any reason for Bianca to drop the title in her first title defense, especially with SummerSlam and Money in the Bank being very closely behind the corner here. So we all firmly stand behind Bianca Belair to retain this championship, as would have reportedly been the plan had she faced Naomi. So I don't think the storyline changes. I just think the challengers ultimately did. I maybe could see a situation where maybe Becky ultimately maybe steals the win away from Bianca, but at the end of the day, I don't see there's not much reasoning for Bianca to drop the title here, and that's why all of us are in agreement that she's going to retain. And then in the final match, the only Hell in a Cell match at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Odd that there's only one, as we officially have the final card in place. But it will be the third and final installment of the rivalry that has started since his return at WrestleMania, and that is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, one more time going one-on-one with Seth freaking Rollins. So far, Cody has defeated Seth at both WrestleMania and at WrestleMania Backlash. And since then, Seth Rollins has continued to drive home the point that you left because you weren't good enough. You can't go to another company, smash the throne, and then try to come back here and take back the throne that you smashed years ago. And simply put, you're not good enough to be here. I'm sick of you. I don't like you. And at this stage, I'm tired of seeing your face, and this time inside of Satan's structure, we will settle this once and for all. Cody, meanwhile, has stayed humble throughout the entire process and has tried to take the high road in most circumstances, continuing down his path that this is his moment of redemption, as well as returning to WWE for the opportunity to win the WWE Championship, the one title that his father, the late, great Dusty Rhodes, was never able to win. Cody continues to try to stay with the fans, ask for their forgiveness from them for leaving, and to show that he is better suited to be the best top level competitor that he can be, and aspires to be a champion, the champion in WWE. Seth Rollins, meanwhile, has taken umbrage of that and is essentially willing to do anything and everything it takes to stand in Cody's way. So now, once and for all, in what we believe, and even they have said will be the final time that they face each other, Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins go one-on-one, this time inside of Hell in a Cell. Anything goes inside the giant steel structure. And as for our selections, this one should look rather familiar, as once again, we are split with myself and Alyssa riding this dead horse all the way to the end, as at WrestleMania, we took Seth Rollins. At WrestleMania Backlash, we took Seth Rollins, and both times we lost, while Kia took Cody Rhodes and won. So, if we're going to go ahead and do it, we're just going to go ahead and ride or die all the way to the end, ride this horse till it dies. But we both are just like, you can't keep having Seth Rollins lose. It's been almost 4 full months since Seth Rollins has had a victory in any type of significant match, and he hasn't won at a premium live event in over half a year. So it is time for Rollins to finally get off the schneid and pick up that one win over Cody. It'll take Hell in a Cell to do it. But also Rollins, this is not his first time inside Hell in a Cell. He is taking on some of the biggest names in the game, including for major championships. So Rollins knows what he's doing. Rhodes, however, no stranger to Hell in a Cell, as he has actually competed inside Hell in a Cell as well on multiple occasions. It has, of course, been quite a few years since he, of course, left WWE, but now returns back into Satan's structure, and Kia is going to go for the 3-match clean sweep for Rhodes and try to take another victory off of myself and Alyssa. The OTRA is also leaning heavily towards Cody Rhodes as well, 84% at the time of the recording. Still time to go and vote. This one easily has the most votes of any of the matches, no surprise, but we'll see where things stand. So suffice to say, either myself and Alyssa are going to either be way ahead or way behind in terms of the pay-per-view results when all of this is said and done, as we're going with Rollins one more time, Kia and the OTRA's going with Cody Rhodes. And with that, that brings us to the end of our Hell in a Cell top rope spoilers. Again, a little different due to how we're having to handle things, not being able to be back in our home. Right now, our projected date is that we will be back at our location in our home before the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. So hopefully we'll be back in front of our normal white screen and able to join you guys the way that we've always been able to. But for those of you that have reached out to us and to send us the well wishes, we couldn't appreciate it enough. We love you guys and just everything that you guys have done to help give us motivation and give us smiles during times in which things are not so easy right now. Again, we're not broken, but things are certainly tough right now, especially when you've got 2 youngsters also with us as well. But either way, we're not here to to cry about us. We're here to enjoy wrestling as the wrestling community and the wrestling family that we have created. So go enjoy Hell in a Cell. I actually will be live at the event this upcoming Sunday. So if you happen to spot the On the Ring Apron Rania Club shirt, drop in, say hi. I love taking pictures, love saying hey, love talking to our fans. It's amazing, walking around. We have that D-list celebrity status now where it's like, hey, wow, he actually recognizes me or she actually recognizes me. And it's kind of, joyful, but also humbling at the same time that, the work we're doing is putting smiles on faces, and that makes it worth every second. But that was Hell in a Cell. You guys enjoy the event on Sunday and come back and see us again, and we will see how we did. Have a good one.